Hello there, now it is time for chapter 48, the Castle Gole. The first thing that happened when they arrived within the walls of the Castle Gole was that they were all hit by branches. Brushing the leaves and sticks away, they moved behind a collection of bushes and peered over the top. They had teleported into a heavily treed area of the east garden. Behind them, past some tall elm trees, was the eastern wall. They could see the open area of the east garden, many of the flower beds looking near dead from the lack of care from the pirate horde that ruled the castle. Shortly past that was the wall of the eastern wing of the castle. From where they were hiding, they could see many empty windows, some with clothing hanging out them, and near the top of the curtain wall many flags with the symbols of the pirates. Every once in a while, Bree could see a figure looking out from the gaps of the battlements along the curtain wall. Blaze crept over closer and sniffed the air. "It looks the same as the last time I was here, when you were an infant." "How do we get in?" Bree asked. Blaze gestured with his snout to a section of trees with large trunks near the eastern curtain wall. "There used to be a hidden cave between a few of the trees over there, unless Regan's men found it and sealed it. Once we get in, it will take us under the curtain wall, beneath the courtyard, and deep under the keep. From there, we take the eastern staircase into the castle and take back Gole." Bree looked up to Oriana. "I don't know why I never thought of this before, but do you have the ability to make us not be seen trying to cross the garden?" "I do know a cloak spell, but for all three of us it'll only last a few seconds." "That's all we need," Blaze replied. Oriana hovered over them and twirled Morgana's wand. A dark yellow mist covered them, and Bree noticed that she could now see through the others like they were fading away. "Let's go," she whispered, and ran across the garden. There was no response from either of the walls as they made their way to the cluster of trees. Blaze sniffed the ground and stopped at a stump that was the size of a work table. He snorted and nodded his head. "It's underneath this stump," he said. "They must have covered it." By now all three of them were rid of the cloak spell and looked solid. Bree crouched down and put her hand under the stump. She felt around for a grip, got one, and lifted. Thanks to the porphyrium bracelet, it didn't take too much effort to open the entrance to the cave. Blaze jumped in first, followed by Oriana, and then Bree joined them, letting the stump thump back down above them. After a short fall, Bree landed into total darkness. Thankfully, Oriana illuminated the cave with Morgana's wand so they could see where they were going. The path of the cave took them westward under the curtain wall, eastern wing, and courtyard, as Blaze said, and they emerged in a dirty section of the keep that, at one point, was probably an old dungeon. Blaze sniffed the air as he walked to the hallway from across the room from them. "This is definitely the old dungeon that they're planning on fixing at one point," Blaze said, looking both directions down the hallway. "They gave up any work when the pirates started to threaten the land." "Where do we go?" Bree asked. Blaze took a few steps to his right. "This way." The dark and dirty hallway held a few turns, and finally they emerged at the far end of the dungeon that was still in use. However, there were no prisoners. A few rats scurried here and there, but there wasn't even one of Regan's pirates acting as a jailkeeper. The silence was unnerving. "Why are there no prisoners?" Oriana asked. "Well, we know they killed the Royal Golian army," Bree answered as they slowly walked to the exit. "So they either killed the rest as well, or are using them as slaves." The main door out of the dungeon led to two staircases, one of which brought the trio to a small landing just outside the main hall. They could hear voices in the hall, so they quickly snuck in behind some statues that had been piled along the wall. Blaze noticed one and made a quiet snort. "This bird statue used to be upstairs in the west wing," he whispered. "And this one of the king's brother who died in the northern mountains, that was on the side of the main hall. Why are they all here?" Bree looked through the pile of statues of the collection of wooden chairs, fabric-covered lounging chairs, a few ottomans, and many piles of clothing arranged in a circle in the middle of the hall. There were nearly 40 pirates lounging in one form or another, some drinking heavily, some eating, and at least two groups playing cards of some type. Most were armed, but there were many weapons scattered around the room within arm's reach of the pirates. "How do we sneak past them?" Oriana asked. "I don't think my cloak spell will work that long for all three of us." Bree sighed. "Then we do this the hard way." Blaze closed his eyes and groaned. "I was hoping you wouldn't say that."